Both of them are in. Nice over there. Nice over here. Nice and snug. Got a good sweeping motion. Yes. That's awesome. So, all right. Day of fun here aboard a Yara. Saturday morning. We're caffeinated. We're treated. Got Devin out here working on her project. Sanding away. A little sneak preview of what's to come there. And then we are going to be in here working on more steering components. So where we're at, we've got the conduit in, final in, done, right? Well, final, I spoke too soon. We still want to adjust the cups where you put the grease so they're a little more accessible and vertical. So I have that to do. And then yeah, there's a surprise coming for that too. I'm going to show you guys something new there. But let's talk about what these pieces are first. So this is a sheave setup. So there's some pulleys, like round pulleys in here, and this bracket, and then these bolts that the cable runs around and spins around so that it is an easy, low friction, gentle curve for this cable to run back to the steering quadrant. So this chain is what gets attached to the sprocket on the backside of our wheel. And then this cable runs through the conduit that we've got installed. So the idea is that when you turn your wheel, it pulls on this or pulls on this, and then this tugs, and then this is connected to your radial wheel drive or your quadrant. So today what we're going to do is kind of get everything all set up for installing this cable. And yeah, going towards the path of getting that all hooked up. So yeah, it'll be fun. There's a little bit of like prep work and detail work to work through, but I'm going to bring you guys all along for that. So let's get it going. All right. First things first, let's pull this apart. So this is the wheels that fit into this bracket. We only need one of them, but these are the old originals that we went and Devin had them sandblasted to just get off all of the 40 years of dirt and grime and dust, and they're bronze, so you know how bronze turns green. So that was all sandblasted off, and we're unwrapping them together to see what they look like. We had this one sandblasted too, and look how beautiful that came out, right? So here's the model, Edson USA G306. So let's get these unwrapped here. All right, here's one. Oh, look at this. Is like a temporary filler that they put in there so that the sandblast goop doesn't get in there. Interesting. Yeah, like a little plug. Look how beautiful that is. So size 6 sheave, Edson B321. Now, one of the things you can do with bronze is first, do a visual inspection. And make sure there's no like obvious cracks or a lot of wear. Or because this is a sheave or a pulley, you might get a flat spot where the stainless steel wire like rubs on the inside here. Because if this gets stuck and if this can't turn, so that this turns inside here. So if that gets stuck or if that can't turn, then your stainless steel wire could like create a flat spot in there. And I'm not seeing any of that. So that looks good. Also, with this type of material, give it a ring. Just hit it with your finger or knuckle. Hear that ring? It might be kind of hard to hear because Devin's sanding. But if it sounds like a good bell tone, like a bell, like a Christmas bell or whatever, a church bell, or a clock bell, doesn't matter, a bell, that means that, you know, it's still in pretty good shape. So we had all three of these redone, even though we only need one of them to keep as spares. So this one, a little worse for the wear here, a little pitting there. Not very many cracks, or no cracks, sorry. Let's see if it rings like a bell. Yeah, it does. Here, let's try that one again. Yeah. So those two are good. So far though, this one is the better of the two. So we'll stick that one on top. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, so that's just a little bit of surface discoloration because they've been sitting for a bit while we work on this project. That one looks really good. Sounds like a bell. Yeah, so I think we're gonna go with this one. We're gonna install that one. Cool. So now the idea is I gotta figure out how those go back together. I'm pretty sure I took lots of pictures, but clearly that doesn't fit. So, oh, there we go. That one's better. Why is that one better? Oh, because the inside bushing is pushed out a little bit here. Okay. Yeah. See that one? So the inside bushings are flat and flush there. Flat and flush there and there. But then look at how far this one sticks out. So it's not gonna go in. That was the one that I wanted to use. Darn it. I might be able to take this to the vise and press it in. Or we'll just pick one of these. They're all pretty much the same quality. So. Alright. Well, on to the next step. Trying to figure out how this goes back together. Once I figure it out, I'll show you guys. Alright. So, quick update. I went back and looked at some photos, and this thing mounts to the, we'll call it the hole for simplicity, but I'll show you later where it goes. This thing slides in like that, right? Then, in the middle is this bronze bushing, or pin. Yeah, a pin. This is the best out of the three, so I saved these three in anticipation of these being spares, but these are pretty trash. You can see that there's like metal missing from it. There's like a lip right here. That one's pretty bad. This one has like just a complete like crater taken out the center. And this is probably the one that's in the better condition of them. And then that gets pushed into here, which I'll definitely need to take to the vise to do. But I got to get this old cotter pin out, so that's kind of what I've been working on now. So we'll go ahead and work on that. Hopefully it'll come out, but I'll give you guys an update. You're not gonna want to watch me do this. I'll be right back. So I'm having a pretty hard time trying to just force that out. So I'm gonna cut off this grody part over here, and then that way I can probably get a little pick or a punch to push this out, and then hopefully that'll give me enough meat over here on the end of it to grab onto. So yeah, got my little cutoff wheel here, so let's give that a try. There we go. So now I might be able to get a little punch in there to punch that out that way. Yeah, let's start working on that. Check it out. There's some meat on the end of that. So I just used this punch, but it was only able to go so far, clearly. But I punched it out as far as I could. Now, let's see if we can't grab a hold of this and yank it out without breaking the metal that I'm trying to pull on. Okay, I'm gonna work on that a bit. I'll be right back. So, as expected, I broke off that part. So the little nub that was sticking out here, I was yanking on it to try to pull it out, and it popped off, and now I can't get a hold of it anymore. So now what we're gonna do is try to drill it out. Where there's a will, there's a way. Wish me luck. I'll be right back. All right, well, after a lot of drilling, it's fine. It's fine enough for the new cotter pin to go in there. But there is a little bit of original cotter pin in there that I just don't have a drill bit that's small enough to drill out the inside, but not too big that it'll drill the hole bigger. So I'm just going to leave this as is. The next thing I've been doing was kind of taking some sandpaper and smoothing out the inside of this. So in order to do that, I just wrapped it around this little screwdriver. Like, put that in there. And then put the screwdriver in there. It fits nice and tight. Then I just spin the wheel around that, and that's been working pretty good. Just to kind of get out any dirt and grime. Because if you remember the bead blasting or the sand blasting, they put this cap in there to protect that bushing. So some of the material definitely from the bead blasting definitely stayed in there. So this is working pretty good. Yeah, looks good. Nice and smooth. So then I'll oil that up or grease it up. Put this in there. See, that goes in there nice and smooth now too. And then cotter pin it all together. So let's get that set up. Be right back. All right. So I'm just gonna a little bit of spray lubricant here. Kind of just get things cleaned up a bit, really. Even though they've been bead blasted, there feels like there's a little bit of film on it. Okay, the one thing that I noticed though is here's the old cotter pins. Old, new. These old ones are really, really, really too big. I don't know what's going on. And I'm out. Like, I have the other ones that I have are too big too, so I could only find this one in the bits and bobs. It's about the same size as that one. So I don't like doing this, but I'm just gonna bend this one back to shape to get everything back together. Let's go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I think I figured it out. I looked at some photos on Edson Marine, and so that, you know, obviously goes in there. We talked about that. This goes in here, and then the head of that lines up in between these two pins here. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this puppy installed. Okay, so this is looking nice. Spins really easily. Very cool. So now these four holes 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the hardware that I took off. It looks fine. So I am going to wire wheel this and make sure that it's fine. Otherwise, you guys know how I like new hardware, but this is good stuff. It's in good shape other than just being dirty. Okay, but where this hardware bolts through here, it's a structural part of a hole, kind of like a knee on a hole. And when I had the epoxy out the other day, epoxying the other holes for the conduit, I forgot those 2 holes. So I'm just gonna get out my rotary tool with the sander tip on it, get in those holes, gloved finger, unthickened epoxy, and get in there, and let that dry and get that going so I can so it can dry. Yeah, but so far so good. You guys already saw the sanding and the epoxy, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail there. But I probably will show you the before and after on the wire wheel with this hardware, because it's pretty impressive. So I'll do the epoxy first, wire wheel the hardware, and come back and we'll check in then. Let's keep going. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but the right in here, see how it kind of gets smaller? It's really hard to see. Here, let's see if you can see it better like that. Yeah, there you go. So like right there. See that? Like good. So that is a failure point. So that's okay. We'll just do one of my favorite things and order hardware. Brand new 316 stainless. I mean, hey, I'd rather catch it now than, I don't know. Epoxy is ready. So these holes can't do the finger trick because they're about that size. So that's the through bolt mount. So I can't get my finger in there to epoxy the inside of where it gets through bolted to the hole. So I brought some Q-tips this time. So those, I'll just dip in the epoxy and then spread it through the inside of the hole where that piece of hardware, where that'll be mounted. And yeah, it's really cramped in there, so it's kind of hard to get down there with the epoxy, my Q-tips, and the camera. So I will show you guys after it's done. Yeah, but trust me, it'll be good. The wood's solid, fiberglass is solid, the layup between the two is still good and solid. So really this is just keeping the moisture out, just battle against moisture on a boat. So we've got it nice and sanded and cleaned and acetoned. So now it's just ready to put the epoxy in. And then, like I said, the hardware for this is on order. It should arrive tomorrow, which means that, hey, this will just dry overnight. And then when I'm back on the boat next, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next night, we'll just bolt it right back up. And it's gonna be amazing. You guys know I love new hardware, so I'm really excited about that.